everywhere, in the Middle East, in the US, in Europe, in India, and China. There is a revolution coming. People are not happy with the state. And so in a revolution, there's lots of many different voices. And my biggest trait in a revolution is combining and using diabetes as a glue. I'm getting a little bit nervous. And so what does this revolution look like? I don't know, but I know it should definitely taste sweet. And so I want to make sure that we are leaders. We're leaders in diabetes, but really I think we're leaders for the world. And here, this brilliant room of people. In my application, I didn't have a project. I don't have a relationship with my foundation. My biggest goal was just to meet you, and to learn from you, to hear your voices. And I think I've done that a little bit, but I'm so more excited to do it even more. This is just the first stage. In general, my life goal is to create equality. I've done it slightly with Team Type 12, Type 1 and Type 2 diabetes. There's not equality there. There's not equality between countries. There's not equality in countries. How do you get to equality? That's a very tough question. You can't get there without hearing everybody's voice. So everybody needs to have a representation and a voice, and then you need to have people who don't listen but hear you. And by hearing, I'm talking about feeling and sympathizing and relating, putting themselves in your shoes, slippers, or flip-flops. In the US, I run an organization that gets a lot of heat because we work with Type 1, Type 2, and kids who don't have diabetes. Many doctors say, this is impossible. How can you combine all these different groups? Diabetes is different for everybody. But what makes us common is that we struggle, we overcome, we fail, but we continue to live. So diabetes really is our glue and our strength. And with these groups, these kids, when you combine them, what are they? They're kids. What are we? People. And that's our core. And so with these camps, they work great. Type 1s hanging out with Type 2s, kids rapping about diabetes. It was just fantastic. My next thing I want to hit on is 20 seconds. Okay. So great quote by Gandhi. Be the change you want to be. Don't be it tomorrow, be it today. And thank you.
What do you think your skills are to bring to this position?
Throughout my life, I grew up in the hood. I was the only white guy on our football team. And so right off the bat, I'm more comfortable with diverse and different groups than groups of the same people. With that, I'm a good listener. I don't just hear you, I listen to you. I screwed it back. I don't just listen to you, I hear you. And not because I want to sound important, but because I want to help you. That's my biggest strength and also biggest weakness, is that I'm more invested in how you are growing than in my own growth.
Actually, I've met a couple of candidates in the last couple of days, so I just have this question. What have you learned in the last 3 days during the training sessions?
One, we're going to start the Cricket for Diabetes Foundation in Trinidad. Two, diabetics in Romania are discriminated against to play sports. So we're going to try to figure out something there. In Grenada, there's a lot of bureaucracy in terms of getting diabetes education into schools and working with higher health ministers, so how to navigate folks established when you don't necessarily agree with the establishment.
My name is Ikena. I'm from Nigeria. I want to ask you two questions, please. From what you said, you made us understand that you don't have a good rapport with your local chapter. And I want to ask you, how were you nominated? And the second one is this: how sure are you that you have a good rapport with us? Hence, you don't have a good rapport with your local chapter. Thank you.
That's a great question. My application story was I found out about this conference a week before the deadline. I was asked to apply and then had to figure out a foundation to sponsor me. The ADA does not work with the IDF. I work with the ADA and the JDRF as a local organization. With the foundation who sponsored me is AADE, the American Association of Diabetes Educators. And the reason I don't have a relationship with them is because I just found out about them. So eventually I would like to start a relationship with them, and I would say, don't count me out. Give me some chance to build a relationship with you.